Well, welcome to the VideoMy podcast. I'm Dave Maccioca.
And I'm Craig Watson. We've just come out of an amazing session with Kevin Wheeler, futurist and an ever-present member of the ATC, including one of the founders of the ATC. Kevin, that was amazing, wasn't it, Dave?
Always. You have to attend and listen to Kevin.
Blew us away, as usual. And some of the points you made, look, even walking back from the session to here, I reckon I had 4 or 5 conversations with people who were just saying, wow. So congratulations on the session.
Thank you. Yeah.
Amazing.
The future is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I would love to know how you pull it all together, but I won't ask because how many conversations would you have and research you would do to bring all that to life? So it's a real credit. We're going to try to touch on a couple of things that we thought were super interesting. A lot of it was, though.
ChatGPT did it all.
You were a hologram. It wasn't even you. You're still in San Francisco.
My digital twin was doing it.
I think where you started with was that everything is changing, right? And that was a beautiful place to start for us, and that we're entering a decade of reinvention, and AI is like electricity. I love that little, that thought there. So maybe just start us off there. Everything's changing, mate. What?
Yeah, everything's changing. I mean, it's a fundamental new technology, if you want to call it that, but it's just going to become the fabric of our life. I mean, the reason I equate it to electricity is everything that we went through in accepting electricity, we're going through with this.
Yep.
I was saying I was in a hotel in Boston a couple of years ago, and in the hotel room, they had a lot of memorabilia from the old days.
Yeah.
And they had a cardboard card, and it said, with a fancy, the 1800s kind of writing, say, place this over the electrical socket to prevent electricity from escaping. And I did a little research. People were scared to death that, the socket has no cover.
Oh, dear.
And they thought the electricity would come out in the room and damage them. So it's kind of like our fear of AI.
Yeah.
We're afraid it's going to come out and damage us, right? It's going to hurt us in some way. Instead of embracing it as, okay, how can it help us, right? But I think it's really hard to have a positive reaction to things that are so disruptive and so potentially career limiting, if you want to put it that way, right? But the best attitude you can ever have is just say, it's here, it's going to stay, and I got to figure out how to live with it, right?
Are you finding a big difference even from last year to this year in people's ability to accept or embrace AI?
Oh, they're more open to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't think they've still embraced it. I just had a talk with one of the guys from one of the major companies here in Australia, and he was saying how their internal policies don't let them do anything.
Yeah. Hopefully events like this, they go back and they create a little bit of change because it's inevitable. I do like the concept of, the AI being electricity. I did hear Jeff Bezos talk about it being electricity and it's everywhere. The slide that was really neat that you put up was the Industrial Revolution from movement from, trains at train tracks to, electricity to fascinating. And here we are today, and what an opportunity it is. And we heard from Toby yesterday that spoke about investment of $2 billion a day. That's wild. So it's inevitable. These people hopefully can influence change or at least start the discussion, and who knows where we'll be this time next year, hopefully in a much deeper conversation.
Yeah, and you talked about the evolution around the concept of VUCA versus BANI. Can you just, for the listeners or the viewers here, just talk us through that?
VUCA has been around for a long time, right? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and anxious, right? And the new BANI, which is brittle, anxiety-filled, anxious again,
Nonlinear,
thank you, and incomprehensible, right? And I think it really sums up. It was a futurist wrote an article in 1998, but it didn't really get published until 2020, coining that term.
Wow.
And he was just saying that everything now it's not just changing, it's broken.
Yep.
It's brittle. So the brittle concept, right? That we're scared to death, right? It's not just slight anxious, it's absolute fear. It's nonlinear. We can't predict where it's going to go. It's, there's no, we typically look at things and say, oh, it's going to follow some evolutionary path. It's going to follow a non-evolutionary. It's going to be a disruptive path, right? From nothing to everything, almost overnight. Nice. And then incomprehensible, because it's really hard to get your head around it. We can't,
Isn't it ever?
And that's so I think that term really sums up how people feel. Right.
You showed a slide too around nations and where they are, and you had the US, which is the most advanced in the AI space, closely followed by China, and I guess China's catching, and Australia was a little bit behind. I guess
a question
I've got here,
like all the way bottom left.
What can Australia do to pick up the pace or find themselves in an area where they're competitive within the AI realm?
Yeah. I think it's a two-pronged. There's two prongs for that. One is more government acceptance and less regulation.
Yep.
And, listening to the talk yesterday and the Fair Labor Act and all these things, they inhibit innovation and growth. You can't break a mold if you're not allowed to break it, right?
Yep.
Number one. And number two is encourage government policy. In China, for sure, there's a ton of government focus on developing AI, right? You will develop AI. And if you want to develop AI for VideoMy, they'll give you money to do that, okay? Yeah. Where other countries, no way they're going to give you any money for that, right? So it's about how much is the government willing to be part of the equation, how much are they willing to invest, and how much can you remove the limitation, legal and policy limitations on doing it.
Well, that will certainly drive business change, but what can people do? You spoke about being a voracious learner. What does that mean, and why is that such an important skill set in the new world of AI?
I mean, I think we have to, all of us have to break out of our, this is what I do mindset. This is my job mindset. And say, and just start exploring other opportunities. I talked a while ago to a group of people that have been unemployed for quite a long time. And they're all trying to find a job like they have. And I said, that's not going to happen. Okay. You need to go out there and explore and try different things and say, okay, what did you do before? Oh, I was such and such. Well, how can I leverage that in some other way, right? How can I take one of those skills and do something with that? And maybe you're going to have to read some books and talk to some people and become a voracious learner.
Or maybe just follow your passion as well.
Right, exactly.
It could be something that you really wanted to do but couldn't do for one reason or another.
That's what I tell them.
Now you've got a bit of time.
Yeah. I mean, it's... all my life I wanted to be nobody, right? So, I mean, it's like, that's what
you wanted
saying.
to be nobody.
No, that's what they're saying. They're kind of saying, I just want the same old job, the same old thing I always did. I said, so you don't want to be anybody, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's your own personal motivation? What's your desire? Where do you want to be? Yeah. I'm sure you didn't wake up someday and say, I'd like to be a podcasting guy.
No, I didn't.
Are you more than a podcaster? This is just a side hustle.
I mean, you fall into things, or you and they come along and you embrace them, right?
Exactly.
And you become good at it, right? So it's about being not afraid.
Sounds like people are going to have to say yes a little bit more in the future.
That's right.
I think
a lot more yes. And I call voracious learning just experimenting and doing things, maybe uncomfortable things, but they may create a whole new career for you, I mean, you don't know.
Hey, Kev, you're renowned for dropping some truth bombs, and you did quite a few in this session. And one of them that resonated with me, you said that the notion of filling recs is already dead.
Right.
And needs to be replaced, or is being replaced by capacity planning.
Right.
Tell us a bit about that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a company and you say, what do you want to, as a company, what do you want to be doing 5 years from now?
Yep.
Right? And what kind of talent will you need to do that, right? And then where does that talent exist? Does the talent exist, and where does it exist? Or can we develop it internally ourselves, right? So it's about building your capacity for growth and development, not just assuming a linear, incremental growth. Every year we'll be 2% better. We'll hire 3 more people just like we already have. It's really getting companies to think outside the box, right?
And that's a gap that talent functions can fill.
What was Steve Jobs' famous thing? He said, the bottom line was, we want to hire people that are willing to experiment and explore, that say can. We don't want people that say they can't. We want people to say they can, right?
I feel like we can talk to Kevin a lot longer.
Oh, we could spend the rest of the day with him.
But maybe a final question, Craig?
Okay, So I really would like an understanding of what you think the possible next big thing is. I know you spoke about up to 2030. So what's going to happen really, really differently between now and then?
I think you're going to see more and more small companies emerge that have different models, that hire different people based more on skills. I think you're going to see the larger big companies start to fumble and not do so well. And we're seeing it in the U.S. right now.
So we should be selling our shares in all the big blue chip.
Yeah, I mean, I look at retail is a great example. The U.S. right now, Target, which is a huge U.S. market, Macy's, the Federated Department Stores, Bloom, they're all dying. They're closing all their shops. They didn't learn and adapt, right? And what's coming up? Walmart, which a few years ago was the most stodgy, company in the world that nobody liked. They created e-commerce. They're competing head on with Amazon. They're developing all sorts of innovative store concepts. So that's what you have to do. You've got to you got to experiment. And if you don't, you're dead and you're going to die. So, and that's just retail, but I mean, every other industry is in the same position. What's mining going to do, here in Australia when China doesn't need coal anymore? And how do we extract it more efficiently and cheaper? So, I mean, these are all real challenges. I don't see governments being very proactive. And my biggest concern is lack of policy discussions, lack of real conversations about how do we do things better.
Are you talking about at the US or here in Australia, really? Because the conversation is pretty much nil. We get a lot of American news, and it does seem like America is building data centers, big ones. I know they're doing it here in Australia as well, but not at the scale that America is. And
the reason partly is there's tons of money in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
These venture capitalists have more money than they know what to do with. But also it's about, I really believe it's largely about regulation and mindset, right? America's mindset has always been, screw the rules, let's just go do it, right? And I go to Australia, it's very much more, that's not the right thing to do. That's not the way we do it. It's not good. It's not appropriate, right? And we don't have that mindset in the U.S. for good or bad. It's not always good.
It's interesting to see who will win, a capitalist society or a communist society. And in the world of AI, just don't know. Like China.
Well, China's investing tons of government money in things like electrical cars, battery technology, semiconductors.
If they lost 30% of their workforce, are there going to be stampedes in China as opposed to America? They'll be rioting like there's no tomorrow.
I mean, they've got a shrinking workforce. They're very aware of it.
Yep.
They're doing what can we do and AI will take over a lot of the work that people aren't going to be able to do anymore, right? Robots for taking care of the elderly. We're going to have much more of that kind of thing coming out of China because of necessity and government acceptance of the facts, right? And investing money, and how do we get over that?
Yeah.
So I guess the one definite is there's going to be more change.
A lot more change.
Yeah.
Very disruptive change.
So if you don't follow Kevin, you certainly should. He's got a newsletter that he publishes. How often do you publish your newsletter? Weekly. Yeah. So connect with him on LinkedIn. An absolute pleasure, Kevin. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Kevin.
Great to be here. Always good to see you guys.